You're leaving millions on the table if you're not doing this one thing in your sales process. We're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars, because we're not doing this one thing. So I brought in my guy, Mr. Brian Mayoral, good friend of mine, runs a company called SellUp, top rep at Tony Robbins. They've trained a bajillion sales teams. I mean, he knows what he's doing when it comes to sales, and he's got a really fun strategy that they've been implementing with clients that's working really well. We're totally blowing it when it comes to this one thing. Why people should watch this?
Most people have run ads, they've exhausted all of those leads, and then they just kind of sit there in a dead pile and they don't get touched, they don't get followed up with because everyone's focusing on the next lead or the next paid ad. But there's so much juice and so much opportunity in those closed loss leads because all of those people have already been paid for. They already know the brand, they already know the messaging. And so what we're going to be teaching today is how to go back to that group of closed loss leads and to revive those leads. We call it a back from the dead campaign. And we use two talk tracks. One is have your circumstances changed and what could we have done better to serve you or earn your trust? And that call is a curious and excitable tone to try and get them back into the sales cycle. We were able to improve an entire month of our revenue just by going back to those closed loss leads that we had already spoken with.
So I want you to think about what you're doing in a month in revenue and imagine if you could have that times two just by doing this one thing to the people that you already have in your ecosystem. So stay tuned. That's what Brian's going to break down with the team. We're doing a little behind the scenes training. So this is the stuff that we're actually doing to scale right now. We're at 8 figures trying to scale beyond that. This is a core pillar that we're trying to implement. So if you enjoy this training, comment below and subscribe and let's dive in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, for the love of God. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I'll just give it to you straight. Because we sell for other people, they run ads, right? And then our team fields those calls. So think about us as like a closing team. We don't run our own ads. We don't run our own marketing, that kind of stuff. The big problem with that is that we're not in control of our own destiny if we're not controlling lead flow. We're 4.5 years into our company and we're building this thing just like you guys are. At this stage, we got into an issue and the lead sources for our clients completely dried up. And so a sales team that closes for other people, but we're not in control of the leads, you can imagine what that might have felt like. And then we found, thanks to Cassidy, it was actually her idea. She's the brains of the operation. I just kind of tell people like, go and kind of coach them up, right? So we had a, what are we going to do moment? And we're like, well, we're going to control our own destiny. And we had about 60,000 leads in close lost, meaning people we had already spoken to, but for whatever reason, they didn't buy. And so we're like, okay, we're a sales team. We're gonna go hammer those leads. And we called it a back from the dead campaign. So these are leads that you've already paid for. These are people that you've already talked to, who already know the brand, who already believe in the brand, who already know everything about what you guys do, but for whatever reason, they didn't buy, right? Have you guys ever been to like Nordy's or like a store and you're like, I didn't buy it that day, but I really wanted to, but I couldn't because, you know, what happened in my checking account and blah, 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 right? It's the next level of care to be like, hey, I understand why you didn't do it at that time, but I believe in what we're doing so much that I'm going to reach back out to you and find a way to get you over the finish line. We truly believe that sales is the ability to change somebody's life. Sales is believing in someone's highest potential, not their current circumstances. No matter what, no matter who you talk to, it's going to be, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I got to go talk to my boogeyman, the person under the bed, whatever, right? There's always a circumstance as to why someone cannot do something. But if there's always a reason why someone can't do something, that means there's always a reason why they can do something. So if they say, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I got to go talk to the boogeyman, which is my wife or my husband, doesn't matter. Now, if they convince you, right, in an influencing situation, it's either them convincing you or you convincing them. So when we look at the reason why somebody said no, that's not a valid reason that they said no. Because if someone can live in a garage or live on a gym floor and then still find a way to be a multi-millionaire on his way to a billionaire just a few years later, then it's not the money. It's the resourcefulness, the ability to go find it. Because how many people do you know that started their business on a credit card with money that they didn't have? How many people do you know that are completely successful and they seem to be the people who don't have any time, right? A single mom working 2 jobs but finds a way to be successful, Oprah. With that belief in mind, we asked ourselves one question. Will calling closed loss prospects lead to more sales? And then the goal was to maximize ad spend and efforts without needing more leads. And then with that theory, we said, what are we going to do? We're going to have our sales professionals call prospects in the closed loss list over the last 6 months, people who are closed loss more than 60 days out, to engage those clients to see if we can get them across the finish line. When is the best time to do closed loss campaigns? For us, it was when we had no other option. But for you, in our business, there's 2 seasons that are slow seasons for us. It's the middle of the year, and then it's the beginning of the year. Those tend to be slower months for us. So we use Back from the Dead campaigns typically during slower season to kind of offset the downturn. Does that make sense? Okay, so what did we do? We initially did this test with 2,682 people who had entered close loss and put them through the Back to the Dead campaign. We booked 132 meetings, so we revived those leads, and then we impacted 19 lives, which ended up being a 14.3% close rate, and average ticket was $7,200, so that led to 136,800 in revenue closed. These are leads that you've already talked to, that you've already spent the time, energy, and effort speaking to. Now it's about going to revive them. Cool? All right, so belief. Nothing works unless you have, oh my Lord, nothing works unless you have. You got to have belief in what you're doing, because if I ask you to go do something and you don't believe in what you're doing, what's the likelihood that you're going to get the outcome? Poor effort yields piss poor results, excuse my language. Good effort yields okay results. Great effort yields good results. Exceptional effort yields great results. So the effort and the belief has to be beyond the results that we want to get, because it almost never turns out the way that you want it to. But if you, the old saying, if you reach for the stars and find your way to the moon, it's still pretty damn good, right? So you got to put in the effort beyond and the belief beyond what the results that you want in order to hit those outcomes. Cool? There's two types of talk tracks for this. So now we'll get into the tacticals real quick. There's only two ways to make money as a sales professional. Improve the number of quality conversations that you have, or improve the quality of those conversations. In this role, and at this stage of your life, this is what you got. I can improve the number of quality conversations I have and the quality of those conversations. This is going to help you improve the number of quality conversations you have. And then the training that we're about to give on the talk track is going to improve the quality of that conversation. So there are two talk tracks. Talk track number one is, have your circumstances changed? Second talk track, could we have done better to earn your business or earn your trust? Whatever your language is, I did my best to try and mirror what I thought your language might be in this organization, but you can change it to make it your own. Okay, so what I mean by that is you don't want to call to resell. You want to call to serve. So when you're reaching out to them, there's a certain tone that you're going to want to have. The tone is curious, casual, empathetic, and neutral. So have your circumstances changed? The entire mindset around this is, I know in my notes in HubSpot, there's a reason why you didn't buy, right? Time, money, spouse. So I know before going to the call, I already have the upper hand because I know why they didn't purchase. But I want to be casual, curious, empathetic, and neutral. Has there been an adjustment to the income that you have? Or has your mindset changed around the finances? Is it still something that you want to do? I'm just using this as a re-engagement tool to work through that objection now that they've had time to sit with it. Because how many people do you know, especially people who are authors, they're probably processor type people. They like to dot their I's, they like to cross their T's, they like reassurance. Normally when you call, we have a different type of opening line, whatever your guys' is, but it's ring, 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 and they say hello. And you're like, hey, is this Mike? Yeah, who is this? Mike Katz? Hey, this is Brian from Self-Publishing School. You ask the second question on purpose because it allows you to take control of the call, right? They're going to ask you a question. If you don't reframe that and ask a separate question back, they're starting to control the call, because whoever asks the most questions controls the call. Making sense? But now I want to just get into the talk track, okay? So I saw that you spoke with Jacob a few months ago about your book, about your fiction book. Does that ring a bell? Pause. Let him answer. Have your circumstances changed? I also noticed that in our notes, the main reason you didn't move forward is due to financial constraints. Do I have that right, or is that right? Curious. Just a curious, neutral tone. Normalize their hesitation. Position selfpublishing.com as a supportive and not pushy company. Remember, you're calling to serve, not calling to sell. That's the main mindset on here. So how many times have you asked a question and it's like you start at point A and they end up at like point Y, right? So, hey, is that what happened? Well, no, it's not my finances. It's whatever the reason is. All right. So all it is re-engaging the conversation to get you back in flow. These are fragmented sentences on purpose. You don't have to have full sentences when you're speaking. Totally makes sense, because we pride ourselves on supporting people who have something meaningful on their heart, but finally get to bring that to life or put it on paper, even when the timing or finances haven't felt perfect. So again, that empathetic tone is understanding I'm not making them wrong. I'm not trying to objection handle. I'm trying to support. Just curious, since the last time you spoke with John or Jacob, whoever it is, have your circumstances changed at all? And they might say something like, well, not totally. That's not a bad answer. There's no bad answer, right? It's just, it gives you data. and lets you understand where you go next. Or, yeah, you know what? My husband just closed the deal. Or, yeah, we finally moved into the house, so things are a little bit settled now. Whatever the reason is, circumstances might have changed. And so you're just trying to collect that information to get you back into the sales cycle. 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to come up with another challenge because that's what the brain does. You're calling them out of the blue, but you're not trying to combat or objection handle that. You're just trying to support. Next talk track is, could we have done anything better to earn your trust or earn your business? Hey, this is Cassidy from selfpublishing.com. Oh, hey, Cassidy. Hey, you might have spoken to Rick a few months back about publishing your fiction book. Does that ring a bell? Yeah, it does, right? And then you're into the conversation. Now you're going to, what could we have done better? So now this is a customer service feeling of a call. I just wanted to make sure that we were supporting you fully. Is there anything that we could have been doing better to support you? I want you to listen to my tone. I saw that you spoke with Jacob a few months ago. Does that ring a bell? The tone of my voice elevates up at the end of the question. Very curious, right? Does that ring a bell? Which elicits a response. I'm reaching out because we care about authors we speak with. I'm curious. Could we have done anything better to earn your business or trust in publishing your work? I'm giving them an identity, your work. Is there anything we could have done better? Now, you may not say business because they may not be business people, but anything else we could have done better to earn your trust? And this is like the most sincere. I want you to hear the way I'm saying it. Is there anything we could have done better to help you publish your work? And just, right? Because now they're going to be giving you X, Y, Z. No, right? If they're an empathetic person, no, you guys were amazing. Thank you so much. And now they're going to give you the real objection that they may have not given you when they ghosted you 3 months ago. So now you have the data and you can do something with the data. Totally makes sense. We pride ourselves on supporting people who have had something meaningful on their heart, to bring that to life or to put it on paper. And we aim to get things right. Just curious, if we were able to make things right, is publishing your book still something that's important to you? And this gets you right back into the sales cycle. The key is not, again, it's not to call like, hey, are you still interested in publishing a book? I'm not trying to hook them early with pain. I'm trying to be a supportive person by nature. You guys want to role play it real quick?
Yes.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Rachel?
Sure is.
Rachel?
Nope, Rachel Slauson.
Oh, hey, Rachel Slauson. This is Brian from selfpublishing.com.
Oh, hi. What's up?
Hey, what's up? I saw here that you met with Aaron just a few months back regarding publishing your fiction book. I'm curious, is that still something you're looking to do?
Eventually, yeah.
Cool.
It's still in my mind.
Yeah, I see it here in our notes, and congratulations on wanting to still do that. Most people kind of give up on their dreams. I'm curious, I see here in the notes that at the time you just were a little bit too busy to be able to publish your book. Has anything changed since the last time we spoke?
No, I still have 12 kids.
You still have 12 kids. Wow, you're very busy. Now, I just got to ask, has there ever been a time in your life where you haven't felt busy?
No, I have 12 kids.
Right. Yeah. So is it likely if I were to call you 5 years from now and ask you if you've written your book, are you likely to say that you're busy then as well?
Probably.
Sure. One of the things we pride ourselves at our organization is helping people put what's in their heart and put it onto paper. And the best time to work with us is when you're busy. That's why we don't have you write the book yourself. We support you through the entire process. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you guide them right into the conversation there. Cool? And then you just start to ask pain-based questions, and now you can go into an actual sale. Hey, so how long have you been thinking about this book? Oh, I've been wanting to write this for
4 years.
4 years. Wow. When's the last time you've wanted to do something for 4 years straight?
This has been my dream, actually, for a really long time.
Wow, this is your dream. Okay, so let's say that I call you 5 years from now. Is this still going to be on the dream list or the done list?
Well, I'd like to get it done.
Like to get it done.
Yeah.
We'd like to help you get it done. And we'd like to help you do this despite having those kids, because what kind of example would it set to your children that you actually did something that you dreamed about doing?
Here's my credit card information.
Right, so I'm finding leverage, right? So her leverage, she said, kids, I want to give you one sales tip, okay? Whenever you're talking to a client, okay, you want to use the word because. There was a study done by Dr. Robert Cialdini about cutting in line. Okay, so they went to an office. People used to use the copy machine, right? The Xerox machine. And they did a study. They had one group go and ask to go cut in line, but not give a reason. And the other group go cut in line, but use the word because. So one said, hey, what are you doing? Well, I need to get copies of my piece of this for, right? Or, hey, I need to get copies because, and it could be anything after because. And the human brain will, as long as you have a reason, will allow you to get away with it. That increased compliance by 93% using the word because. There's only 3 sales postures. What I mean, they're called power postures. I'm not talking about like physical power postures. I'm talking about how you elevate yourself, right? So there is neutral, inferior, and then superior posture. Okay. Naturally, because I'm the one training right now, you guys would consider me in a superior posture, but I self-deprecate sometimes to lower my posture to not be overbearing or to come off like an ASS, right? In sales in general, the best posture to be in is, especially during the beginning of a call, is neutral posture. That's like the posture that you have when you're going and talking to friends, having coffee or grabbing a beer. You're not trying to posture each other. No one's trying to win. You're just there neutral, and that's when people's guards come down. If you go too inferior, right, that's gonna raise the sirens in their amygdala and their brain, being like, oh, this person's not safe, I can't trust them, whatever reason. Right? Have you ever met someone who's really awesome, but then they're over domineering? They're like, they just come off the wrong way because they're trying to power their way through everything. Well, that's like a superior posture. That's beneficial as well as an inferior posture. You want to use both of them in a sale, but you want to stay as neutral as you possibly can for as long as you can. 2 people can't be in the same posture at the same time. So neutral, 2 people can be there at the same time. But if someone is superior, that means the other person's automatically defaulted into inferior. And I don't know about you guys, but who likes to feel inferior for too long? When I was doing a lot of trainings, I would ask the question, which posture do you think you should be in a sales process more often? And almost all the time, people are like, superior, superior. And it's not the case. You actually want to use that the least often is the superior posture. You use that when somebody needs you to kind of take control. So they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm indecisive, right? Hey, I recommend doing that. Another thing, if someone's indecisive about something, you can also try going inferior to that. And they're like, what should I do? I don't know. What should you do? Well, I think I should do this. That's a great decision, right? So sometimes when you pop below in an inferior posture, it pops them into a superior posture. For the most part, until you get to the ask, you're trying to stay as neutral as possible. Just curious, friendly, service-based tone.
Give it up for Brian, y'all. Good stuff. Yeah. All right, that's it. We just wrapped up the training with Brian. It was awesome. We've got some templates. We've got some scripts. I hope that you learned something from this. This is something that Brian and his team charge tens of thousands of dollars to implement. So if you got value, comment below, subscribe to the channel, check out what Brian and Cassidy are doing at SellUp. What was your big takeaway from today or something that stood out?
The team is enthusiastic. They already know how to sell. So it's just about maximizing opportunities that you didn't know were there. And the team here is high quality. They're driven, they're passionate. So I'm excited to see them blow it out of the water with the new strategy.
So if your team's similar, you're probably still leaving this money on the table. There's 2 words, follow up, and the Wake the Dead campaign. And so hope you enjoyed this, y'all. See you in the next one.